Anna Cogdill presents novels written in verse for ages 9 to 12 years old. So, what are novels written in verse? Novels written in verse typically take two different shapes. One is like one giant poem that's broken up into chapters or sections. The other type is just small poems that are titled and everything and put into a narrative form. What are some novels written in verse? Here is a few. Here are two books by Kwame Alexander. These are both novels written in verse using several small poems linked in a narrative form. The Crossover, Basketball Rule Number 2, Random Text from Dad. Hustle, dig, grind, push, run, fast, change, pivot, chase, pull, aim, shoot, work smart, live smarter, play hard, practice harder. Booked. Last night you couldn't watch TV because Dad canceled the cable, so you missed The Walking Dead. This morning he tells you that you're not getting this week's allowance because of the mountain of unwashed clothes. And now Miss Hardwick is reading another boring book in class, and April hasn't smiled at you since the lunchroom brawl. Another example of novels written in verse is Inside Out and Back Again by Than Lai. A series of small poems makes up this novel. Our Cowboy. Our sponsor looks just like an American should. Tall and pig-bellied, black cowboy hat, tan cowboy boots, cigar smoking, teeth shining, red in face, golden in hair. I love him immediately and imagine him to be good-hearted and loud and the owner of a horse. August the 8th. Another fantastic novel written in verse is House Arrest by K.A. Holtz. This book is like giant poem just broken into chapters. Tiny curls all over her head, gray like dishwater. Her face, like someone with giant fingers, pinched her mouth, nose, eyes into a point. Her scrubs covered in clowns. Clowns, really. Yes, clowns. And her voice, fake, high-pitched. Another novel written in verse is Heartbeat by Shannon Creech. This is another novel made up with a series of small poems. Lines. On the days we have art class, Miss Freely shows us how to use different mediums, pen and ink, charcoal, pastels, acrylics. I have drawn my apple with each of them, and my favorites are the pen and ink and the chalky pastel ones. Seraphina's Promise by Anne E. Berg is another novel written in verse. This novel is written as one poem broken into sections and parts. That night, when I close my eyes, I see loops and lines and turning rope. I see the first letter of my name squiggling like a snake. I see other letters too, circles and hooks, dots and crosses, but I don't remember everything. Tomorrow I'll try harder. Tomorrow can't come soon enough. Words with Wings by Nikki Grimes is another novel written in verse. This novel is written with a series of poems. Some days, sad is a word I can't swallow. It swells inside my throat until it's stuck. I hurry home from school and beat Mom there. The second she arrives, I crawl into her lap like when I was little. She holds me, quiet, and strokes my hair. I stay there till the sadness shrinks and I can breathe again. Novels written in verse are not the typical novel, but I hope you see that they are fun and quick to read. And the next time you're looking for something to read, do give one of these authors a try.